Shalom, shalom. This is Karath coming at you again with another one. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught me 100% truth according to the Bible. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Enough respect to you brothers laboring in this truth, making your calling and election sure. Shalom. I think I'm going to entitle this lesson, When Wisdom Was Uttering Her Voice in the Streets You Didn't Want to Hear. The title of this article, it says The Psychological Toll of Living in Quarantine or Isolation. It says, these people, they're bugging out, man. They're losing their minds because they want to be out and about. People, they want to hear somebody, man. They want to hear somebody's voice. They want to interact with people. They're social creatures, man. So they want to be out and about. It says writer Michelle Lent Hirsch has been thinking about all the people being quarantined right now. She's been through something similar, though under different circumstances. When she was 25, she had thyroid cancer. The treatment is to swallow a tablet of radioactive iodine. You actually become radioactive. It's pretty wild and not fun, she said. The day before it was to happen, I actually considered telling them, never mind. I don't want this part of the treatment because the idea of being radioactive and knowing that I could endanger other people as well was really scary. But she knew she had to do it. Let me jump down and get to some of the meat of the article here, man. These people, man, they're losing it because they got to be quarantined, man. And this is beautiful, man. This is the Most High working in the earth, man. Let me jump down. She said she had to basically be quarantined because she had she had to get treatment for her thyroid, man. It says, I felt like I was in a dystopian film or something where people around me were basically logging how much exposure they were getting to the bad thing that was inside my body. It says it's really surreal feeling and it's really bad feeling to know just by being around these people, I'm potentially harming them. Hirsch said, I totally felt like a freak. She said once she sneezed while a nurse was in the room, the nurse scuttled away in a hurry. Hirsch said she had maybe 4 minutes of human contact a day, so medical staff could take her blood pressure and do other procedures. Let me jump down right here. It says, there's not a lot of research on the psychological toll of being quarantined. One of the few studies came from from the SARS outbreak in the early 2000s. From several authors, including Laura Hariluck, an intensive care doctor at Toronto Western Hospital and an associate professor of critical care medicine at the University of Toronto. She worked on the front lines during the SARS outbreak, and some of her friends and colleagues had to be quarantined. That got her and some other doctors wondering what the experience does to someone. One of the things that was most striking was the anxiety that people were experiencing and sort of confusion of messages that were happening at the time, she said. It says Hariluck and her co-authors found symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and depression in almost a third of people they surveyed, with more symptoms the longer someone was quarantined. So these people, man, they suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, man. And depression, man. These people are weak, man. These people fold under pressure, man. And this is man, if the Lord's not supping with you, man, you're finished out here, man. Because you see what it does to you, man. And this is just the beginning. This ain't even like the real separation. This says you get post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and it says almost a third of the people they surveyed, the more symptoms, the longer someone was quarantined. With more symptoms, the longer someone. So this is just a small little something, man. This ain't even nothing really that serious yet. And it says, as an ICU doctor herself, Hariluck had to wear full protective gear every day, including an N95 mask and something akin to a hazmat suit. So she's also thought about how challenging it is for medical staff to care for isolated patients. Patients can only see your eyes, and so that very human contact of forming a really strong therapeutic relationship is much more difficult. When you can see somebody's face, she said, it's much more difficult to reassure somebody to treat them, to have them understand that that you understand their anxiety and provide what all of us would consider the best care that we can. Above all else, Hari Luck said, what matters is that patients have a consistent source of reliable information and know how they can turn for help. These people are weak, man. These people are weak. They folding over a quarantine, man. People giving up the ghost, man. They offing themselves off of a quarantine, man. You know, I remember, somebody showed me an article about a lady, man. She offed herself because she didn't want to infect other people. And she was, quarantined, and she just offed herself, man. I can't confirm or deny if that's 100% true, but that's what's being said in the rumor mill. But it says people in quarantine aren't people that we're isolating off from society, she said. They're people that we owe a duty to care for, and that duty needs to be spelled out loud and clear so that people do feel cared for and not abandoned. It says, she said, quarantine and isolation are fraught measures to contain outbreaks, but there will be more emerging diseases, so we should think about how to do it well. You right. You damn right it's going to be more emerging diseases, man. And it's going to be more plagues, more pestilences, so you get used to being on your own out there, not a lot of people to talk to. It says one of the first people to be quarantined in the United States during this coronavirus outbreak pointed to it as a good example. Yulin Yin lives in Minnesota, but he went to Wuhan in January to visit his family for Chinese New Year. The outbreak had already begun in China when he arrived, and after several days, Yin was evacuated back to the U.S. with all the other Americans. They were quarantined at a Marine base in San Diego. For 14 days, he stayed in a suit that was like a hotel room. A suite, Salakia. He stayed in a suite that was like a hotel room with a living room, a coffee maker, a bedroom, and a shower. It says staff would check his temperature regularly. He'd have boxed meals. People from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention of U.S. Public Health Services be there every afternoon to hold a town hall meeting and answer questions. Let me jump down. Yeah, but that's basically it in a nutshell, man. These people, they lose their minds, man, over a little quarantine. But it's going to get a lot worse, man. It's morning lamentation and woe, man. It's going to get worse. They prophets of doom. It's going to get worse. So, gird up thy loins. Let me grab a few pre's, man. Let's start at the top right here, man. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 27. It says, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. It's going to get so bad out here, man. Matter of fact, let me go back one. It says, let me go back two. It says, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? And this is when it gets really bad, man. This is when the Most High finally, brings those plagues, those real plagues, man. It says, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? It says, the grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. All places shall be desolate of men. Wow. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. And this is only the beginning, man. This is only the beginning. This is just the birth pains. Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. And when wisdom was crying, lifting up, the prophets were out on the highways and the byways. Now we can see that they're getting ready to take the prophets off the highways and the byways, man. We ain't finna be out there much longer. The Most High, he's closing the doors of mercy on y'all ass. And you're desiring to have some type of human contact in the voice and to hear the Most High speak, but that closeness that you're desiring, you're not gonna have that, man. You people are finished, man. You want some type of closeness, some reassurance. You want to have human contact and voice. This is the voice y'all needed to listen to. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, the fools hate knowledge. And you love simplicity, man. You Jakes is simple as hell, man. You go on the internet, you watch cat videos, you watch all kinds of bull crap, man. And you're not trying to get the real information, man. That's gonna sustain you in time of trouble. This is Proverbs 11. It says, and thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. Verse 12, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof. 13, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. And you guys aren't inclining your ear to the ones that are instructing you. You're into all kind of spiritual fornication, and you stiff-necked, Jake. And it says, and I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. It says, drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad in rivers of waters. But that was basically the point, man. Jake don't want to listen, man. Hard-headed as hell, man. Proverbs 8. Doth not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? This is the comfort that you was looking for. Now y'all all shut in quarantine. Now you want to get out and you want to hear some shit. No, man. No, this is what you should have been listening to. This was the comfort. The scriptures is comfort. This is the voice that you needed to listen to. You know, now you're getting stir crazy. You trapped in your house and you losing it. It says, doth not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? So like he says, she standeth in the top of the high places by the way in the places of paths. She crieth in the gates at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the openings of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. There are all plain to him that understandeth. And that's, you know, it's plain to the holy, but it's stumbling blocks to the wicked, man. You know, the holy wanted to hear it. They was hearkening and listening because they know they wanted that comfort. Foolish virgins was walking past. Now they quarantine in their crib, have no stability. And then they singing the whole world in his hands. And they talking about Jesus got the whole world in his hands and all that. You're sick. You're finished, man. You're finished, man. And write to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. You know, and you can read this on your own time, man. This Proverbs 8 is pretty good. Very good, actually. Isaiah 58:1, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, in the house of Jacob their sins. And that's what we were doing, man. We were lifting up our voice, trying to comfort you for the tough times that you're going to be coming into, because you're going to need that comfort. You're going to want to hear something. You're going to want to hear a word. You're going to want to, you're going to want to speak. You want somebody to speak to you, man. You know, you're going to desire human contact. And this was it. We were giving you it. Ecclesiastes 12:4, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Ain't no more music and games and mirth, man. That shit is dead. You should have listened to the men of the Lord. Now you can see that the prophecies taking hold, and y'all worried, man. Y'all sitting in the house, you sick, you want to get out, you want to do, and then ultimately y'all gonna end up taking that chip, man. If the Most High ain't dealing with your ass, you're gonna take the chip. Because you're going to want to get back to your life as usual, breaded circuses and all of that. You're going to want to get back to it, and you're going to take the chip. Salakia. That was that, Salak, man. I should have read that. You know what? That's all right. I'll read this one. This is Isaiah 30. 20 through 21, it says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and water of affliction, shall not thy teachers be removed unto a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. And that's what the men of the Lord are doing. You know, the Most High, he's raising his men up at the last day, man, to prophesy against this wicked kingdom, man. And he's telling you this is the way, walk ye in it. You know, and he's not your teachers are, you can see them. You can see them, and they're standing on every corner, man. In the chief places of concourse. It says Isaiah 24:11 says, there's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. That wine, they're crying for wine, is people are looking for answers, man. They want to have a human touch. They want to interact with people. What's going on? Why are we sitting indoors? Why are we quarantined? There's a crying for wine. All the joy is darkened and the mirth of the land is gone. And it's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. Let me go here real quick. I think this was it. I believe this might have been it. The one that No, that's not it. Salakia, brothers. Bear with me for a second. It's messing with me that I lost that scripture. Maybe this. Wisdom is better than weapons. I don't think that's it, but pretty much the point has been made, man. You know, these people are losing it, man. You know, they're having PTSD, you know, and people don't know the full extent of the scope of being basically cut off from other people, man, and not having that comfort. You know, but we got the comfort of the scriptures, man. So we not tripping. I'm trying to find where it says psychological isolating them and being in a room that's meant for isolation, I think adds to it. Salakia. Yeah, but I think it says Halucky and her co-authors found symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and depression in almost a third of the people they surveyed, with more symptoms the longer someone is quarantined. So you're going to experience more symptoms, man. The more you get quarantined, the more the Most High breaks this place down and and he starts to take people off the planet. That's the more you're going to experience more symptoms, man. And this is just the beginning, like I said, man. And I pray through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakodash. This was inspiring to those meant to receive it, man. Until next time, shalom.